So hello guys, my name is Tarun and I'll be your instructor in this video. So in this video we are gonna learn what is input function and typecasting in Python. So let's get started. So I will tell you that from this video we are not gonna use PyCharm but we are gonna use Visual Studio Code because Visual Studio Code is lighter and PyCharm is heavier and Visual Studio Code runs smoother than PyCharm. So to create an while installation to install Visual Studio Code, go to your browser and search for VS Code download and click on the first link. And if you are in Windows, click on Windows button, or if you are in Linux or Macs, click here. So by installation, no, notice that you have been checked these two tick boxes as shown here, as shown here. So after if you tick these tick boxes, and if I print here, what is your name? So if I run this code now, it's asking me what is your name, but I cannot give an answer to it. I cannot give an input to the system. Like if you go to Google Chrome, it is asking us a value to be entered here. Here it's asking us to be a value to be entered. So now for this to do this in the same in Python, we use input function. In the place of print, we just use input. And if I run this code now, I'll zoom it a bit for you. So here it's asking me what is your name. So the one function of input function is that if we write if we use an input function, it stops the whole program until and unless we write a value to it and press enter key. So here I'll just write Tarun and it's just stored in a variable. It just has been uh, stored. So to use in the next lines, we can just assign it to a variable called name. And if I print like hello and a string, and I'll write a hello name. And if I run this code now, it prints what's your name. I'll write my name like Tarun, and if I run this, it prints hello Tarun. So it's possible to do in an integer, like asking two numbers from the user and adding it together. So for that, I'll copy it by pressing Shift Alt and down arrow key to copy it. So here I'll name it like B and this is as A. And I'll use the multi-cursor functionality by pressing Alt in your keyboard and clicking here. It creates a multi-cursor for you. So I'll clear it and I'll write here enter a number. So if I run this code now, oh sorry, if I in the place of hello name, I will write the sum of A and B is A plus B using F string. So now if I write here 10 and enter and 10, and if I press now enter, what would be printed? Most of you will tell that 20 would be printed because your A plus B has been done. So if you do 20, but it's not correct. It prints 1010 because here if we see the documentation by hovering over it, it tells that it store this input function into a string. Means if you just write input, it store or it into a string. But here the plus operator between two strings just concatenate it, does not add it. So to use this into an integer, convert this into an integer, you have to just write here int and open the parenthesis and I go to end of the file. Wait a minute, and I have to write here one more. And here I will another time I'll write here int and end, and I'll go to I'll write here another bracket. And if I run this code now, it asks me enter a number. I'll write here 10. Wait a minute, I didn't do anything. If I write here 10 and enter, another 10 and enter, now it gives us 20. The sum of 10 and 10 is 20. So now here what you will ask, what is int? Why do we use it? So here type typecasting comes. So typecasting means changing a data type to another data type, like converting. Here we have been converted and b into a and b into an integer, or like that. It's basically the input function is string, but using this int function, it is converted into an integer. So typecasting means changing one type of data type into another data type. Like here we converted like string to integer. So we can do much more things like string to integer and integer to string and integer to floating point decimal number. Everything is possible. So to convert a string or a float into an integer, or we use int function. So there is not only int function to convert. There are many functions like float and string and bool. So now I will print this, like I have to print this. I'll press Alt and I'll use the multi-cursor functionality. And if I write a print and the open brackets, and at the end I'll close the brackets. So here, if I in the place of int, if I write something like 10 under the double quotes, inside double quotes, which is a string, and if I print this, it prints. Wait a minute, I will comment this line out and I'll run this code again, and it prints 10. It prints 10 because here 10 has been converted into an integer, and it's printing it first. It converts into an integer this and just prints it. And here if we write an empty string like nothing in the string, and if I run this, it gives us an error, that value error. So here it's because we are giving empty means giving an machine. Can we give a machine like empty and press enter? It doesn't give any matter. Means empty means nothing. It is a string. So if I write here Tarun and if I run this, it also gives us an error called value error. So because Tarun, okay, if I tell you to convert Tarun into an integer, it's impossible. But the value inside the int function should be only in alphanumerical string. Alphanumerical string means a string which has only numbers in it, not alphabets. So here next thing in float, same as float, we can write here like 10, an integer, and if I run this code, it prints 10.0. So here, if I write here into a string, it also prints 10.0. So if I write here an empty string, same as here as an int function, it gives us a value error. So if I write here Tarun, it also gives us an value error. And I'll cancel it. And here, I will write here 10.23, and if I run this code, it just prints 10.23. So a float function is same as integer int function, but it just adds point 0. Means 10 is also can be returned as 10.0. 1 is also can be returned as 1.0, like this. So here next it is an string, means converting 10 into a string. It in this we can give any value to it, means we can give 10 or an integer or even a string or empty string, and an alpha numerical string. It doesn't give an error in string function, means it's converting just adding the double quotes anything inside it. If already there, it doesn't do nothing. So if I remove the double quotes and write here 123.345, it just adds double code in it. It just adds double code or single code like this and prints it. So the next thing is boolean, means converting an integer or a string into an boolean. So I will tell you that if anything, if except 0, everything in Python as an integer is false. Like if I get 10, a positive number, I'll comment this out, it prints true. If I write a negative 10, a negative number, it prints true. But if I write here 0, only 0, it prints false. So because it checks that it has a value or it does not has a value. So here 0 does not has a value, but minus 10 also has a value, and plus plus 10 also has a value. So same thing can we do in string. Can we write here Tarun? And if I run this code, it prints me true because Tarun also has an value. But if I give it an empty string, it returns us false because empty means 0, nothing means 0, 0 means false. Anything can just write P here and run this. It also has a value, but an empty string only does not has a value here. So now I will tell you another thing about Python, which is very important topic. So here, if I write here a equals to 10, a equals to Tarun, and if I print a dot upper, which is an function used to capitalize things, the output would be like this Tarun. And if I print a again, I will comment this out for a second. So if I print a dot upper and if I run this code, it capitalizes the Tarun fully. But if I even I didn't comment this line, 15th line, but I will print the a again, it gives me true because here this function a dot upper does not create, it does not change and currently present string. It creates a new variable. It creates a new variable means if I write a dot upper, it does not change it, like does not change it means it does not change it into an Tarun as the here. It just be how I wrote here. That would be the only fixed value because in Python strings are immutable. So that is a very important topic in Python. So I think you have been understood what is string concat, what is input function and typecasting in Python. So that's it for the video.